The very mention of the word Wyoming evokes the essence of the American West. Wyoming is all that innumerable movies, novels, and legends have tried to capture. From its broad high plains to its soaring mountains, from its storied past in the frontier to its role in the ancient histories of native peoples, Wyoming is like no place on earth. This Western spirit thrives to this day in the Cowboy State, where the famous bucking horse and rider have long identified Wyoming for its uniquely Western spirit and flair. Today, we celebrate as the United States Mint releases our state quarter, featuring the iconic bucking horse and rider. The Wyoming State Coin is the 44th in the Mint's 50 State Quarters program. The Wyoming National Guard first used the insignia during World War I to embody the force's heritage and enduring spirit.
The Wyoming Bucking Horse and Rider has appeared on Wyoming National Guard uniforms, insignias, and patches in many different ways since World War I. During the Operation Iraqi Freedom, our 115th Field Artillery Brigade was sent overseas. And through the University of Wyoming Athletic Department, they chose to display a small version of that red and gold patch on the back of their helmets. It reminds them of home, it reminds them of the cowboy spirit. It just gives them a centering point to think about home and returning to the great cowboy state.
The University of Wyoming has used the bucking horse and rider since 1921.
The university's use started, back in the 1920s with that bucking horse, and it showed up on our helmets in the 60s, and that fan base just embraces that bucking horse and rider more than any other logo. I think you see it, and it's evident across the state. People use it on their mailboxes and their houses. Simply put, the bucking horse is the signature of Wyoming and possibly the most unique college logo out there.
The original design was created by artist Alan True in 1936 for then Secretary of State Lester Hunt. Many people believe that the image was based on a famous horse named Steamboat, dating back to the early 1900s. But according to author and Old West historian Larry Brown, that wasn't necessarily the case.
True was a wonderful painter and designer, and illustrated the chambers of both the House and Senate at the state capitol. In an interview with True, after the popularity grew about the design of the license plate, he said that he had no specific horse or rider in mind.
The Wyoming Quarter provides a chance for Wyomingites to remember why this is called the Equality State. In 1925, Wyoming's Nellie Taylor Ross became the first woman governor in the United States. In 1933, she was appointed Director of the United States Mint by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. In an old newsreel provided by the American Heritage Center in Laramie, Taylor Ross discusses her hopes for implementing President Roosevelt's economic policies.
I'm wishing that while directing the coinage of money, that I had some magical power by which I could direct the flow of it into channels of trade far and wide. Our hope, however, of revival of business and the revival of our happiness lies in the broad, heroic policies that President Roosevelt is sponsoring and that happily are now fast being converted into governmental action.
Taylor Ross served as the director of the Mint until her retirement in 1953. For our new Wyoming Quarter, more than 3,200 designs were submitted by the public. Standing ever strong, the bucking horse and rider was selected as the best representation of Wyoming's heritage and Western spirit. As we celebrate the launch of the Wyoming Quarter, we remember our historic role as the Equality State and celebrate our Western roots in this land that is like no other place on earth. Congratulations, Wyoming!